Hello, this is James Nicolau. This is my second video, so my second category in Artifact for CS 499 Capstone class, Module 2 Code Review. So category 1, I went over my clock presentation from CS 210, going over design for software design and engineering. What did it do? Kind of went over the code itself, and then how I want to enhance it, how it matches the course outcomes. Category 2 is algorithms and data structures. So my second artifact, I feel is a pretty good example of that. It's my final for my CS300 class, and that was to create a course catalog and allows you to look up courses. So with this one, we're going to run it, show that thankfully it works. And this is our course planner. So our course planner, course catalog, what it allows me to do is first load in course data, which I loaded by pressing 1. File is loaded for confirmation. I'm going to outprint the course list. So this list that's provided for me all came from a text file, which is loaded from the load course data function. And I can search a specific course to see if there's any prerequisites. So I'm going to look up for, let's say CI 400, gives me the ID, the title, and the prerequisites for this course. And if I want out of the function, I just hit 8. So, as intended, if you utilize the application appropriately, hey, boom, it works. That's always a good start. With this code, now let's kind of dig into it. So, I've got 4 files. Here's the main. Short, simple, sweet, right to the point. I like that part of it. There's a little description saying, hey, this is main function, this is where it executes. So this file, it's a little bit of a run-on. It's all the working functions and everything else in the program. Not my favorite way of setting things up, but that's how it was set up in this course specifically. So it tells you that here. We have the stored header file to show that we know how to import stored H to the different files. The file to list class, which provides us some functions. And here's that course list that's a text file that we uploaded and then we're able to iterate through. So not really a whole lot to comment on this one or this one. These are all public functions because they have to be used by multiple things. No need for any private information. Course list is the course list. So let's dig into the work file. So the work file, I think I have set up pretty well in terms of if we're going to go over the layout, the structure, and documentation. So there's the structure right at the top, so that way you can use the structure through all the different functions. Each of these functions have a little bit of a description stating what they do. Scrolling down, and then we can see that this file reader reads in the files, stores it within the vector. So it opens and closes, adds them one by one. Print the course list, find the course, and then the main menu. If I were to make this a lot larger, which I do want to add quite a bit to this one specifically, because I think this one has a lot more to offer, might start separating this work file into multiple files to kind of clean it up so it's not just one super long run-on file. It's probably one of the biggest things I want to do with organization. Overall, I think it's a pretty efficient piece of code. There's really no redundancies. There's not really any overlap. It's pretty simple. But like I said, maybe if I split up some of these functions into other files, it could help clean it up. Documentation could be a little more descriptive, kind of breaking down what each specific portion does. So like I could explain what this does, which it's if the ID equals the user, it'll allow me to iterate through and find the specific class or stuff like that. So like the fact that I had to stumble over it just to even read it, maybe a little bit more description on what could be done. Variables. Variables are basically all strings and characters, so not really a whole lot of mismatch or errors in there. The only exception to that is the user input, and the user input is taken in as a string. I mean, they could technically put in wherever they want. There's not really a ton of verification. All it's saying is an invalid input, try again if it's not finding anything in there. It means it could have been a typo or a malicious attack, don't know. But overall, the variables are taken care of. Memory management is okay. There should be a try-catch maybe instead of just if else, especially with the user input. Make sure if there's no malicious attacks. Thankfully, a string has a pretty large buffer, so unless they're really out to get you, there's not really going to be a whole lot of damage done. Arithmetic, really no arithmetic in this function, and there's a couple while loops. You got the for loop to if any input puts in uppercase, make it consistent. While loop to read in the file. While loop, for loop for finding a course. Then the while loop for the main while, which has a switch in case setup, which I like that. Makes it pretty clear and concise. You got case 1, 2, 3, and 8. It'll match up to the inputs that are expected. Helps kind of keep things nice and clean. All the cases are covered with these. At least all of them have a basic invalid input. So in try again, maybe you could break it down a little more on what's invalid, but it tells you it's invalid at least. And security purpose, again, really the only way they could do any damage is input, and with it being a string for an input, it allows for quite a bit of a buffer for potential damages. So what I want to do with this is I want it to be more robust. Yes, I can look up a class. Yes, I can see if it has prerequisites. But I kind of want to add a planner section. So if I'm a student and I want to use this, I want to be able to add like a kind of a calendar scheduler or some kind of a list that allows me to add classes to my planner, print out the planner, and then with the courses, I'm going to add like days and times for like certain blocks of the same course. Like Math 201 might have like block A, which is Mondays and Fridays, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., that kind of concept. And I want them to be able to have this like weekly calendar thing for that term so they can check, hey, can I take these classes at these times so there's no conflict, no overlap, and then I can print that out so I actually have like an organized little schedule of what I can do with these. And if I add in classes to this schedule and there's an overlap, it'll give you a warning, error, overlap, try something else. So that's what I want to do with this. And in terms of the course outcomes that I think it'll demonstrate, I believe that it'll focus on designing and developing clear and concise output so that I understand what's going on. It's going to be technically sound, meaning there should be no errors, and it's appropriately adapted to students. That would be, or maybe parents trying to help their students pick out classes. I want it to be clear that the purpose of this is to help the user be able to pick out classes and get more information on them and create a schedule for it. And then with this solution that I proposed, I need to design and evaluate computing solutions that solve a given problem using algorithmic principles. The and it's going to be able to do if checks, while checks, and if there's overlaps, especially when I get to the scheduling side of things, the algorithms are going to produce errors or warning messages that things are not lining up how they should. And then I want to show off the demonstrate an ability to use well-rounded and innovative techniques, skills, and tools in computing practices. So I feel me adding this whole course planner thing is really kicking this whole program up a notch, providing a lot more productivity and going to a wider audience of people, and I think it'll be more useful for those that were already using it. So all in all, I believe that my program works. It works well now, but I really want to expand on it, and I believe that it'll follow those course outcomes pretty clearly. Thank you.